Hello everybody, today I'm bringing you more photos from my niece-to-be's wedding shower. These are actually the photos of the piles of her presents. I'm going to use that piece of foil paper and some cardstock for a background, and I'm actually going to use one of these Heidi Swapp banners. They're hermistable banners. I've had them for ages and I never use them. I don't know why I have such a hard time with banners, but I feel like they need to be hanging off something. I don't know. Anyway, I bought these ages ago at Michael's, and it just says they're Heidi Swapp banners. So what I did there is I grabbed my Hero Arts ink, and I store my inks, or some of my inks, in old cigar boxes. So this is the Hero Art Shadow Ink in Bubblegum. And what I did there is those are the cards I'm considering using for the journaling cards. And I wanted to find an ink that was the closest color to it. So this Bubblegum was the closest. It's a little bright. I'm having a hard time finding a very soft pink ink. And I think I've actually given up on it. So if you have a good suggestion of an ink that matches these cards, like that love card, which is what I am going to end up using, let me know. So the reason I brought them in is I just want to check as I'm inking this mistable banner. I want to check to see how close I am to the color. Should I darken it, lighten it? And then when you're all done, what you do is you take something and you rub it across, and the white comes back in the part of the banner here that's not mistable. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just using a dry baby wipe. You'll notice, by the way, that I've put my Heidi Swapp mat down after my last video and I made these videos back to back, after my last video where I got ink all over my desk. I decided I needed to get that mat down because my desk is getting not so much inky, but full of glue and stuff like that, and this will help. The one thing I don't like about this mat is that the photos stick to it and some of the elements will stick to it, but it's fine. And what I did there is I got my my baby wipe wet there then. I have a bathroom really close, and I'm taking that off. So, and you got to see my newly colored and newly highlighted hair. How lucky for you. Anyway, so that's all done. And I did use a Tim Holtz tool there, by the way. That's the Tim Holtz foam tool, the rectangular one. So I have a piece of basil cardstock there in pink. I don't have color names on it. It's just one of the linen texture ones. And I'm taking that foil paper, which is from Craftsmith. It's a heart paper, and it's the silver foil pad from Craftsmith. I bought it at Michael's during a hot buy when it was $5.99. So that happened, I think, right after Christmas. I decided, what the heck, for $5.99 I can afford that. And I have a lot of gold papers. I really didn't have any silver foil or silver glitter papers, so that's kind of neat here. What I'm doing is I'm trying to decide how I want to arrange these photos. It's hard when you have photos of two different orientations to figure out what to do. So kind of quickly decide that I'm going to put these in a block, and there's a lot of extra space on the top of that photo, so I decided to cut that down, and then it'll mesh a little bit better in this grid cluster here. I also cut that journaling card down a little bit because that will fit a little bit better. Now I'm playing around with that selection of journaling cards to figure out what will look best. I put my banner on here. As you can see, that is a little bit brighter pink, but I'm going to add some other brighter pinks. A lot of times I like to use colors that are exactly the same. I need to get over that because it's the same color family, and if I just add more elements, it will be fine. So, I decided that pink was a little bit too peachy. That pink's a little bit too peachy and bright. I go back to the Love You card again because it's soft, and I think it meshes well with the Love This on the heart journaling card up there. So I'm going to start to glue my photos down now because I have a fairly good idea of what that block of elements is going to look like. So I'll do that. That love card there came from the Elle Studio Thankful collection from the journaling tags. and the Love 4x6 card is from the L Studio Sienna collection, those journaling tags. And now I'm going to just struggle a little bit here because I'm not getting the grid exactly perfect. So you don't always have to be perfect, but I think when you do grids, obviously it shows up a little bit more if you don't. So what's gonna happen is once I get that large vertical photo or portrait photo down, I'm going to struggle with this just a little bit. And I'm being exact, and I managed to glue my banner there a little bit. Just one of those days. And what I'm doing here is I'm kind of checking for the banner placement to make sure I know where I want my photo to go. You can see writing on the back of my photo when I print at home. And when I print at home, I write the dates on things or any titles or any special notes I want to make about how I want to use the photos. Because I'll print the photos right after I take them. I print them and first I copy them into my 2 storage places. I don't hold my photos on my hard drive on my computer. I actually have an external hard drive, and then I also save them to Google Drive as well, so they're backed up in 2 different places. So I take them, I back them up almost right away, whether it's on my phone or with my big girl camera, as I like to call my DSLR, and then I print them pretty quickly. And I just have a stack of photos that sits next to my desk, and then I just scrap what I feel like. So I write the details on them because I might not scrap a photo for a year, and I'm serious about that, but at least the date and everything is on it, so I don't have to look at that. Now, if I remember to look at the date before I glue the photo down, that happens fairly frequently. I have to go back and look because I've forgotten. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting the banner down a little bit, and I'll need to do that in 2 places. These are a little delicate, so you do have to be a little bit careful. And what I've decided I'm going to do is put them down with glue dots because I can anchor them in a couple of places, and then the banner can still have a little bit of movement to it. It's not going to move a lot, but it's a little bit more free on the page. And in the process of doing this, I am going to rip the banner right there. So when I do that, I'm going to have to hide that a little bit. It's fine. In the end, it'll be fine. But I was not very happy that I did that. So with these banners, some of them have a little bit more movement to them, and I have to be a little bit more careful. I think this is maybe only the 2nd or 3rd time I've used these banners. I try all the time, but like I said, I have a problem with using banners. For some reason, I want to see them at the top of a page, to my eye anyway, and I want them going from kind of side to side of something. Sorry, it's allergy season here in Wisconsin. Things are starting to bloom and bud, so mine are really starting to bother me. I'm looking again at this pack of thickers. I just got it Tuesday morning. But I am going to end up not using those. But I did consider maybe using them for like a secondary title. I'm thinking I'm going to put my title right on that little white bar on the Love This card. And now I'm thinking about doing that right there. So I pulled these Authentique stickers because they're in gray, but they were a little bit too rustic for this. The L Studio products are pretty clear and precisely printed. Those were not. So a little shabby chic, I guess the Authentique product is, and the L Studio is not. So when you're combining products, that is one thing you want to kind of look at when you do it. So if something is a lot more shabby chic and something else is more clear, you know, clearly, precisely printed, it may not blend well. And if you blend them, that's fine. Just be aware of that when you look at that, because sometimes you can blend them. I know Shmel just did a video and she did that, but she inked the paper up a little bit. That was more clearly printed to make it blend well, and I will do that from time to time as well too. speaking of inking, I actually didn't ink edges on this, and a lot of times I will do that with the Elle Studio product because they tend to be lighter and it helps them pop off the background a little bit better. I think because the background paper here was a little bit more defined with that silver foil, I didn't need to do it so much. Those thickers there are from Dear Lizzie. They are the Lemon Drop font. Just so you know that. I like it. It's a small letter sticker, but the glitter on it is really chunky. So what I did there is I was just checking to see if everything was glued down securely, because a lot of times because I put my glue on the middle of the items, I'll end up with like flaps, or I'll put it on one side. You know, I'll pick my layout up and things are flapping. So I did go back and look to see if maybe I could use those glitter thicker words again, and it just wasn't going to work for me. And now I'm just going through that little piece both of those pieces are coming from Elle Studio Sienna, the bits and pieces packs, but they are not going to make it. None of the stuff that I'm playing with right now is going to make it. And it's bothering me. The layout feels a bit unbalanced to me because there's a lot of weight at the top because of that banner. And also the fact that, you know, the elements are up there pretty big, the title's sitting up there. So I'm trying to figure out here how to get some more weight into the layout. And I like that little tab, but the pink is really, really bright, and I didn't want to add another pink on this, this layout. The other thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find some brighter pinks to go on this layout, because that banner is a different color than the other things that are sitting on the layout right now. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with these two Elle Studio pieces, again from Sienna, that heart and that little label there, but that's not going to work. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And what I remember, first of all, is I went to find some stamps because I thought maybe I would stamp on the layout on that love card. And as I was doing that, I walked past these Bella Boulevard chipboard pieces. They're almost gone, so I have a stack of things on the left side of my desk that are almost used up. And I go to those on a frequent basis. So they get used up faster. And I found these two chipboard heart circles. So the one to the right that says "Love This" is from Bella Boulevard, the Chow Chip Whatnots. And then the circle that says "Sweet" is from Bella Boulevard Chow Chip Hearts and Stars. And then I also pulled this Smile Always banner there, and that came from the Chow Chip Whatnots as well. And that is a brighter pink, plus it has a very bright pink Smile Always on it, so that coordinates a little bit more with that banner. So it's bringing bright elements down to the bottom of the layout, giving it a little bit more weight. And just because the chipboard is more 3D, it's going to give it more weight. That heart there is not going to stay on the layout, but I think you don't see it until I shut the camera off, if I remember correctly. I just didn't like it. I thought it was a little bit too bright, and it was pulling way too much attention to that side. So what I'm going to do eventually is I'm going to take a scrap of polka dot Elle Studio paper from Thankful. It'll be called Cozy. It's the Cozy paper. And I'm going to actually punch a heart out with my Marvu Cheetah punch, and that will replace that pink heart. You'll see it in the still shots, but I don't think you're going to see it in the end of the video here, because I do it afterwards. And it was bothering me, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I did think about putting some sequins on here and decided there was plenty going on, so I'm not going to do any sequins on the layout. And I think part of that also was because of the background there. The hearts were pretty small. Just going to do a little bit of journaling here with my Chamel pen, and then the layout will be finished. You will see a still shot at the end and the detail shots of the element here, and look for where I replaced that heart with the polka dot paper, because you will see that in the stills. Hope you are all well, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye!